Do you see how all of this, every single thing that you're listening to, I've explained in countless videos in the past, and so take this as a refresher. Coach Greg, in today's video, Mr. Who's the Boss again does a 90-day transformation. Every couple of years, he seems to be doing the exact same thing. He locks in for approximately 3 months, and then he loses it all after that. If any of you are familiar with my content from years ago, well, this is going to be a summary of everything that I used to explain. If you want to learn how to lock in to lose the weight, and this time do it for the rest of your life, why lose all the weight if you're just going to gain it back? And so pay attention. School's in session.
90 days ago, I found out I was playing in the Sidemen charity football match, but I was the most out of shape I've ever been in my life.
When he's wearing clothes, he doesn't appear to be really all that fat. Bro looks actually pretty good. However, when the shirt comes off, you can see he is carrying an excess amount of body fat. Now, he goes and does the DEXA scam, which guessed his body fat percentage, and it said it was only 21%. Based on my laser eye vision, I can tell you it's closer to 25%, but that is besides the point. He is in fact overweight. He's not quite obese, but he does want to lose a significant amount of body fat to improve his fitness for soccer, improve his cardiovascular system, and this can in fact add years to his life. And so props to him, and let's see why on this attempt he lost more weight in the first 50 days than he had previously during the entire 3 months.
Losing weight the way that I'd originally planned is miserable. I thought coming into this that motivation alone would be enough to carry me through dinner plates full of plain meat and vegetables.
Mistake number 1, relying on motivation, thinking you're just going to lock in. Yeah, for 30 days until your upcoming vacation, until your wedding, or perhaps until the video's done. But if you simply rely on willpower, eventually it's going to run out. That is not the answer. And so if any of you have ever dieted in your past and you failed to keep the weight off, it's because you can't rely on willpower. You need the secrets, the tricks. You need to go in with a plan.
What I've learned is you can make it easier for yourself, and you actually have to make it easier for yourself if it's got any chance of working.
Dieting should be easy. If you can't make it easy on yourself, you're going to have to use that much more willpower. Why would you want to make something harder than it actually needs to be? Losing weight, it's not easy. You're suffering, you're hungry, you're starving. You can't eat the foods that you want. And so what are the chances you're going to be able to stick with that diet for the rest of your life? It's slim to none. Only 5% of people that lose weight keep it off permanently. And so we want to increase those odds.
One product that became a very early game changer for me is the Ninja Creamy. I'll freeze it so that the next day I can whack it into the Creamy and it turns it into a full tub of ice cream.
Trick number 1, and this was one of my most famous, most viral videos from back in the day when I was explaining to people how easy it is to lose weight. Protein ice cream. Guys, you all remember the infamous challenge where you'd make the protein ice cream and lean it over your head, and if it didn't come out, you made it right, and if it fell all over your face, well, you did it wrong. Well, on top of that, you can also do a Ninja Creamy. This is the family size. This is the size that I consume. And so you can see, it's in my freezer. These are tips that actually work. I'm telling you, this one trick alone could be the difference between you losing weight or not making a difference. If you substitute in that dessert, that pre-bed meal, that nighttime snack. When I was a kid, 6 years of age, we called it good stuff. We used to have breakfast, lunch, supper, and good stuff. And so when I went to school to talk to my friends, I would say, hey, what did you have for good stuff last night? They're like, what are you talking about good stuff? And I'm like, the meal, the like ice cream and candies that you eat before bed. And they're like, Greg, that's not a thing. Good stuff? I'm like, yeah, breakfast, lunch, supper, good stuff. Loved those desserts before bed. Imagine if you continue to do that and you're an adult now and you're eating nibs, chips, barbecue, ice cream, Haagen-Dazs, the list goes on and on. Do you know how many calories you're consuming before bed? Oftentimes it's 1,000 plus. You might have eaten perfectly all day long. Chicken, broccoli, rice, whatever. But you blow it at night on the good stuff. And so swap out good stuff for the Ninja Creamy or the protein ice cream and you're golden. Tip number 1, this is S tier. If you haven't tried it, please do. I urge you to do this. Now, in my cookbook, there's multiple recipes for ice cream, desserts, and so on. And obviously you already know this. How many years of explaining how beneficial the cookbook it really is? If Mr. Who's the Boss had purchased my cookbook 2 years ago, when he did his first transformation video, he wouldn't have had to do another video. And so the goal of a diet is it to happen one time. And so guys, code Greg 15% off. Diet once, do it right, get all the secrets. Clearly they work. You have no idea. Perhaps 1 million+ people have been watching my videos, using the recipes and losing all kinds of weight and keeping it off.
That takes me a full 15 minutes to eat as opposed to the 15 seconds that it would take me to down it in drink form.
There's so much more pleasure in eating it. Eating is one of the pleasures of life. It's not up there with sexy time, but it is getting close for some people. And so why drink back a drink in perhaps 30 seconds when you can enjoy it for 10 minutes? This is why I also tell people that along with that protein ice cream, to have some popcorn. Again, one of the biggest tips I've had to help people to lose weight. And so you have the skinny pop. It's going to take you perhaps 10 minutes to eat that. You have the protein ice cream, get your protein. And so you have protein combined with carbs. It's filling. You can perhaps watch a movie and consume these calories for 30 minutes. And it replaces the bag of chips and the nibs and all the ice creams that you used to be eating.
But the other place that I made a big shift early on was activity. For me to lose as much weight as I wanted to, I knew that I had to be burning 1,000 calories per day from movement.
If you all listened to this advice and you copied this, there wouldn't be a single obese person out there. It would literally cure obesity. 1,000 calories of physical activity each and every day. And people argue that no, cardio is not the answer because it's such a small portion of how much calories you burn off in a day. The basal metabolism, perhaps it's 1,600. And they'll talk about the thermic effect of food and NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. But they fail to realize is that if you extend that 5% from cardio to make it 20% or even more, you're going to lose weight like no other. You're perhaps not going to believe this, but I do 10 hours of cardio each and every week on my bike, and I only lift weights twice a week. All your favorite fitness influencers are going to tell you that lifting weights is more important than cardio in order to get shredded. But yet, I'm standing here shredded as a former IFBB Pro bodybuilding competitor, and I'm telling you that cardio is better than weights for losing weight. If you burn off 1,000 calories a day, this is what they're going to say. Yeah, but then your body makes you extra hungry. Yeah, but only for half. You burn off an extra 1,000 calories, and so your hunger signals go up, and it makes you eat back about 500. And so if you add in 1,000 calories of excess calorie burning in the day, you're going to naturally eat about 500 back, but you're still going to be in a 500 calorie deficit, and that's without even changing your diet. You quite literally could be eating the same diet you're eating right now and still lose weight. That's without the protein ice cream, without the feeling full, without the popcorn, without all the secrets. And so with ease, you should be able to lose 1 pound of fat a week without any suffering whatsoever.
But just like with the food, the only way to make new habits that you'll actually stick to is to make them fun.
You can't think, remember, this is not temporary, although it's a 100-day transformation. You can't just do the transformation and then gain all the weight back. That will be the point. You got to keep doing it for life. And so if you don't enjoy what you're doing, are you going to keep doing it? If you don't like running and you do 100 days of running, and then after the 100 days, you're like, yay, and then you stop running, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to gain the weight back. You find the activity that you like. How many runs do you think I've been on in the last year? Almost a zero. A zero! What about biking? Almost every single day. And the reason for that is because I love it. And so I want you to find a form of physical activity that you also love that you will continue to do for life. I don't care what it is. It could even be CrossFit. You can go golfing. You can go for walks, bike rides, swimming, badminton, pickleball, whatever. Do something. Move your body. Burn those calories off. And don't forget, it's not just about losing weight. It's about being healthier. All this cardio is improving the most important muscle in the human body. That is the human heart. Cardiovascular disease is killing so many people in every single country. And if we were to just move more, increase our VO2 max, we would live significantly longer.
It's hard to argue with the just over 400 that I've been burning walking on the consistent incline that one of these creates.
He's goaded the treadmill, stating it burns twice as many calories walking on an incline than when he's going on the flat. He's not lying. Literally, a 15% incline, say you're walking 2 miles an hour. If you're walking 2 miles an hour on the flat and you increase it to 15%, you just doubled the calories in the same amount of time. It's a significant difference. Many people brag about the benefits of walking, getting steps in. I'm like, yeah, I get it. If you're Grandma Josephine, God bless her soul, she's so old. Just going for a walk for this woman, I mean, she's really pushing it. But for you, watching this video right now, you're not my Grandma Josephine. She old, you young. You got to pick up the pace. And so we keep preaching zone 2 cardio. You need to know what this is. Zone 1 is when you walk, okay? Me recording this video right now, I'm in zone 1 cardio. You can look at your heart rate. For me, heart rate above 116, that's getting into zone 2, capped out at 135. I'm not going to explain the science of the max heart rate and the anabolic threshold and a whole bunch of things, but this is what you need to know. Zone 2 cardio, it's a moderate pace. Like, how hard should you train in the gym? Harder than last time. Simple statement, remember it. How hard should your cardio be? Moderate. Medium pace. Walking is not moderately hard. If you're 300 or 400 pounds, then absolutely. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the average healthy person. Walking is not improving your fitness. Walk up a hill, get on a bike, push yourself a little bit. I'm not talking about sprints. I'm not talking about HIIT cardio, getting winded. Yeah, that's great. If you want to increase your VO2 max and you're already fit and you want to push yourself like a coach, Greg, great. But for the average person out there, I just want you to go at a medium speed. You know you can go harder.
I can play as many games as I want.
It's incredible. Time just disappears when you're on this thing.
And so obviously, while you're doing your cardio, you're on the phone and you're watching Coach Greg's videos. And once that's done, you can perhaps play Duolingo like I do, or you can read comments and you can respond to people's DMs, the whole thing. This is what I do during my cardio. And for the younger people out there, for example, when I'm coaching university students and so on, I'm saying, when you go and do your cardio for an hour, bring your book and read. It's zone 2. It's not hard. You can study and do your cardio at the same time. So many people are making excuses. Oh, I don't have time. I don't have time to both study and do cardio. Combine them. Simple.
There's also the wellness ball and the underdesk elliptical. They haven't ended up as game changers.
Yeah, I wouldn't quite say that doing this while working at your desk all day is going to make a significant difference, but it can help. The thing is, do you enjoy it? Do you like that? Like, rather than doing an hour of this, I'd rather add 4 minutes on the bike and actually push myself. I'd much prefer that.
Probably the best subtle change that I made was to just buy an indoor football. Having a ball to kick around right in front of me all the time was enough to make me actually want to get up after my meals each day.
Again, these are such minor differences. Like, is kicking a ball against the wall in your kitchen gonna burn calories? Yes, but so is walking to the toilet to take a shit. It helps, but I'm not going to say that that's the secret, the holy grail, the S-tier advice on how to lose weight and keep it off for the rest of your life. But doing an hour of cardio a day certainly is. You don't have to go crazy, but it is, in fact, worth it. And the more calories you burn during cardio, the more you get to eat like a normal human being, and you won't feel restricted. You'll be able to go out on the Friday night, the Saturday night, have wings and whatever with the boys. You'll be able to have those desserts, and you can do so guilt-free. You burnt those calories off. Technically, you need them.
I have been every single day, I would say easily hitting over 1,000 calories burned.
To get his extra 1,000 calories, bro is lifting weights, he's kicking a soccer ball, he's training, he's doing the thing. Bro is locked in. So if he continues to do this for the rest of his life, he's certainly going to maintain a very lean and healthy physique. I only worry that he won't want to keep it going. That is my only fear. And so hopefully he can keep it going.
And then 3 is becoming fitter, which has allowed my resting heart rate to come way, way down. But mine has dropped all the way down from 53 beats per minute while sleeping to 39.
And so bro is secretly becoming a world-class athlete. His resting heart rate went from 53, which is already very impressive. Mine is 50, same as my age. And now it's 39. When I was a teenager doing triathlons, doing 20 hours of cardio a week, that was my resting heart rate. And so bro just decided to lock in for 3 months, and he's now got a resting heart rate below 40.
I could tell things were working by the simple fact that in just the first 50 days, I'd lost more weight than I had in the entire 100 days of my previous transformation a few years ago.
Already down 13 pounds in 50 days. That is a lot. One thing I want you to understand is the best transformations aren't the ones that lost the weight the quickest. Those people almost always lose muscle in addition to body fat, and they oftentimes will regain the weight. And so when it comes to weight loss, it's not a race. Longer, drawn out, slower progression. Remember, it took you 30 years to get all that fat on. It doesn't have to be taken off in 3 weeks. Extend the period, slowly lose the weight up to perhaps 1% of your body weight each and every week. And so if you're 200 pounds, you probably shouldn't be losing more than 2 pounds a week. And 1 pound is perfectly fine.
Focus on the basics. Like, the most important thing by an absolute mile is just what food do you put through your mouth?
I've been preaching for years. I probably said it in 500 videos or more. Low calorie dense foods. If all you take from this video is to eat low calorie dense foods, you're going to lose weight. If all you took was to have protein ice cream, you're going to lose weight. If all you took is to do more cardio, you are going to lose weight. Imagine if you combined them all. It's literally the hack. This is not a scheme. I'm not trying to trick you into something. You just need to do the basics, and it's going to be easy.
I could pretty much summarize the first month of this transformation with:
Every night I'm lying in bed here, so hungry. But I think I saw my first ab today.
This cannot be continued. There's no way you're going to be able to lock in for the rest of your life going to bed every single day hungry. And so low calorie dense foods, for example, fruits and vegetables loaded in fiber, very low calories, it's certainly going to make a huge difference. Combined with the protein ice cream or the Ninja Creamy, and the hack's solved. You're not hungry at night. Never again.
I was hungry all the time. I would just sit there next to Drisha in bed while she's munching, and I'd be in pain.
This is an absolute no, full stop. Now, if you are experiencing extra hunger and you want to solve this problem, you can take GLP Max. It's from HDLT Supplements, and what it does is it reduces your appetite by approximately 28%. And so if you're sitting there hungry at an 8 out of 10 and you're kind of like, it's always on your mind, the food noise, it gets it down to a 6. It's more manageable. You won't be as tempted to say, yeah, I gotta go eat. It just tones it down enough to make that difference. Of course, you can go to HDLT Supplements, code Greg, 15% off. But if that is not enough, and remember, this is something you should get from a doctor. If you are morbidly obese, this guy doesn't need it. He's able to do it without. You can use the simple techniques that we've been talking about. But if you've been trying for years, you can't lose the weight. You are obese and or morbidly obese. You can get, for example, a GLP. GLPs, they reduce your appetite. It's an injection. It's with a tiny little insulin needle. And please, if you use this, use it with the lowest dose that makes you happy. Most people are taking way too strong of a dose. Remember, talk to your doctor, and it should just reduce your appetite. It shouldn't eliminate it. You still want to be hungry when you should want to eat, because if you don't, you end up losing a ton of weight because you're skipping meals, but you are nauseous, you feel sick, you're in pain, and you're losing a ton of muscle. You're losing your bone density. These are actual things that are happening. And so if you're interested in the GLPs, don't forget to go to AlgoRx. Now, why AlgoRx? Because it's above board. Nothing illegal. They don't even sell Retta, because you've probably heard of Retta. It's not been approved, and so they only sell what's 100% legal. There are doctors, they prescribe it. For example, Cialis, help you lift weights, help you get harder than last time. Telmisartan for blood pressure. The list goes on, and these are from compounding pharmacies, okay? Nothing sketchy, not from a research chemical site, and prescribed by doctors. And so if you value your health and you want to get it at a significantly reduced price, just go to Merrick Health and go to AlgoRx and buy whichever one you think is better. When you see prices approximately 50% of their competition, you're going to thank me later. And you can also use code GREG for 10% off.
I just want pancakes, waffles, and to eat until I'm full.
Why not have all the pancakes and waffles and French toast that you want, but make them lower in calories? This book is loaded in this. This is what made me famous. The recipes are freaking easy to make. It's not, you don't need a chef. I created these recipes. I was a teenager in my 20s, dieting for bodybuilding show after bodybuilding show. I've done 59 shows, guys. 42 were natural. I had to find a way so that I wasn't thinking of food every single day. I have dieted more than almost any other bodybuilder in the world. 59 shows. You don't think I know what it's like to be hungry? I remember those days, and I hate them. They're not fun. And so I had to make it better. Hence the cookbook. Do you get it now? You get to eat all these things and still be in a deficit.
But then I started to learn one of the most important lessons, which is volume eating. That is 400 calories of nuts. This is 400 calories in strawberries.
I mean, how many videos do I have out there showing this exact same thing? Blueberries, strawberries in particular, they are so low in calories. And so you're eating volume, you're full in comparison to high calorie dense foods. You eat a little schmuck serving and the calories they add up.
There are a lot of foods, like nuts, for example, that I think it's fair to say are generally considered healthy, but that are actually ridiculously high calorie.
And so the thing with food is, even if the food is healthy, if you're eating it in excess, it's not healthy. Eating nuts healthy? Yes. Unless you're eating in a surplus and you're obese trying to lose weight, very unhealthy.
Then this would be the entire amount of food I could have in a day.
That 1,800 calorie bowl of nuts looked like something that somebody could eat while watching a movie, like at night. You dieted all day long, I'll just eat some snack, I'm watching a movie, and you're 1,800 calories in and you wonder what happened. I was coaching a bodybuilder years ago, I remember, and he bought a Costco trail mix bag and he ate the whole thing. And I'm like, bro, that's over 5,000 calories as a snack before bed. He's like, yeah, but I was hungry. I'm like, you're on a 2,200 calorie diet. You can't just have a snack of 5,000 plus calories. You see what I'm talking about?
The better I was able to turn the 300 calories that you get in 3 tiny normal chocolates into things like one giant bowl of jelly trifle.
Bro, I mean, yes. Like, this is exactly what my channel was about for years. We still do videos like this, but to a lesser degree. And so, do you see how all of this, every single thing that you're listening to, I've explained in countless videos in the past, and so take this as a refresher.
As soon as I realized that I can have an entire box of really sweet, really satiating strawberries for like 65 calories.
Another trick when eating the fruits, if you're a guy that likes sweet things, like you're into desserts and stuff, the fruit's not quite gonna be quite sweet enough, okay? You put some sweetener, whether it's twin sugar or aspartame, whatever it is, and you sprinkle it on top, and it's gonna be way better. Of course, I've seen every single video about cancer and all this nonsense, and the research simply doesn't support that. Within reason, under perhaps 20 or 30 cans of Diet Pop a day, maybe less than 50 packets a day, you're fine. You do that for 20 years, you're good. Now, it's possible to overdo aspartame. I don't know how a human could do it. I mean, if you had 100 packets a day, I don't know who's drinking more than 30 cans of Diet Coke a day. But if you're drinking that much Diet Coke, the problem is you're going to have too much caffeine.
I would actually start putting on weight instead of losing it. And I'd have absolutely no idea why. Because this egg also has 30 calories worth of oil in it too, that we used to fry it.
So often, the glub glub. How many times have you seen that? People are cooking their broccoli and it's glub, glub, glub. And I'm like, you just added 450 calories of glub oil. It's insane. Like, you can't do this. You shouldn't be using oil when you're cooking. To me, it just doesn't make sense. It's like adding in butter to cook your steak. Why? There's already fat in the steak. You don't need to add the butter. It's called spam, or the spray, and it's 10 calories per second. Shh, done. You don't need a pot full of butter and or oil to cook your food.
But it was really when I combined that concept with another concept, intermittent fasting, that the weight loss went way beyond what I even thought was possible.
This is the only part I disagree with. Now, if it works for him, this is great, but for most people, it's going to create a problem. He's saying, just do intermittent fasting. You can only eat from 12 to 6. He's saying, then you're never really hungry, just a few hours in the morning. This is what happens when most people do this. They skip breakfast, not too bad. They start eating lunch and they eat a lot, and then they have to cut it off at 6. Then it's 10 o'clock at night and you're hungry again. You think that just because you ate from 10 to 6 that you're no hungry anymore? This doesn't happen. Maybe for a few. The problem is, if you skip breakfast, the hunger hormones, ghrelin, is going up. It's going up harder than last time. And it's going to signal you Eat. I believe it's better to spread your meals out. Breakfast, lunch, supper, and good stuff. The 4 most important meals of the day. I'm not disagreeing with the good stuff. It should in fact be a meal for most people. I think more people want to have some kind of a snack before bed and just make that snack healthy. Rather than, for example, having ice cream before bed, you have the Greek yogurt with some blueberries with some sweetener on top. It's going to taste amazing. Or you have the protein ice cream, the Ninja Creamy, the popcorn. Healthy, good stuff.
Intermittent fasting means that as soon as you can eat pretty much anything and stay in a calorie deficit.
You could very easily, within just 30 minutes, eat more calories than you were supposed to have in the entire day. Don't convert intermittent fasting to being intermittent binging. This is not what it's about. If you just think, oh, I'll just start eating at 12 and then I'll eat as much as I want, 3 bowls of pasta later and a bunch of cookies, and you're at 5,000 calories.
Has this allowed me to drink an extra half a liter of water per day? Yeah, probably. And that's a pretty valuable thing.
And again, very important to stay hydrated, to continue to drink more water. It does in fact distend your abdomen, which causes a signal to the brain to make you less hungry. And so the more water you drink, you kind of get less hungry. To make it taste better, I would suggest putting in Peri-Lite. There's 8 grams of protein in there, as well as electrolytes to hydrate your body. If you're doing a lot of cardio, such as him, such as me, you don't want to miss out on important electrolytes like sodium, potassium, calcium, and so on. And so if you're interested, code Greg, 15% off.
So in 3 months, we've come down from 21% body fat to 13.2. So we've gone from average all the way past fit and straight to athletic.
And so my personal opinion is he was most likely closer to 25% body fat at the end. Perhaps he's a bit higher than 13% body fat right now. But it does show great progress. 8% fat that he's lost throughout that diet.
And then for the visceral fat around my organs, while I was 79th out of an average 100 people at the start, I'm now 15th.
Also important, his visceral fat, that's the unhealthy fat around the abdomen, for example, it was at the 79th percentile. This is very, very high. It got down to the 15%. Some of the fat that you have on your body, it's actually not good for you. It's good to have some fat, but too much in the wrong areas, it's bad for your heart.
I did a VO2 max test at the start, which came out as fair.
And so his VO2 max fitness to start was at 39, which was fair for men his age. Basically, that means it was about average, which is okay, but who wants to be average? If you're watching this video right now, you don't want to be average. You want to be above average, if not, maybe even superior. His VO2 max now in only 100 days is up to 46. This is excellent. He's approaching superior. And so if he continues on this path, if he doesn't give up, I most certainly believe he will have superior VO2 max, superior health versus the world.
From 84.6 kilos, I'm all the way down to 72.2, which honestly is beyond my wildest dreams for this.
And so one thing he doesn't realize in all of this is I just calculated his fat-free mass. At the start, it was 147 pounds, and at the end, it was 138 pounds, which means he lost 9 pounds of lean mass. I call that muscle. You can debate me if you want. It's water, it's not muscle. That is more than you would expect. One thing I do believe that he did slightly wrong was he lost weight a little bit too quickly. Notice how he said he was hungry every single night. And remember I said at the max, probably 1% of your body weight each and every week. He was losing 1% of 186 pounds, or his ending weight of 160 pounds, is 1.8 to about 1.6. He lost 2 pounds a week, and so he was losing weight a little bit too quickly. Had he have slowed this down and lost weight for perhaps 150 days instead of 100, he most likely would have gotten leaner and ended up at the exact same weight. And so if he had to stretch this diet out longer, 150 days versus 100, when he dropped down to 160 pounds, rather than being 13% body fat, he may have been 10% body fat. Or he could have dieted down to perhaps 165 pounds and kept more of that muscle. Now, if he does want to take his training to the next level, one thing he could have done, which would have made even greater gains. If he would have gotten on the Turk Builder Max, Turk Platinum, and GO2 Max during this process, he would have had so much more muscle. He could have trained harder. He would have had more energy. He would look leaner, be able to do more cardio for longer at a greater intensity. And so hopefully Mr. Who's the Boss can see this video, because remember, the hardest part of dieting, it isn't the diet, it's maintaining the weight after you've lost it. Trust me. If you can get on the Turk Builder Max, the GO2 Max, and get my freaking cookbook, it's going to make it so much easier. Guys, this is a one-stop shop. You got what you need to lose weight, make your dream transformation, and keep that weight off for the rest of your life. Oh, and by the way, we just partnered up with Panda. We have a new limited edition release. It's Panda with HDLT supplements. It's my new favorite flavor. It's Carnival Candy. It's amazing. Taste is so important. Hopefully you learned a lot from this video and it can help you on your weight loss journey. Please subscribe, click the bell button right now. Don't forget to watch either of those two bloops. And so if you want to carry HDLT supplements in your stores and or gym, click the link. Coaching plans by myself and my team. Of course, please hit me up. And until next time, I am out.